The rest of us will be muted, and we'll give Mark a second to get a flag up.
Okay.
There you go. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now the invocation is going to be by Dan Lloyd.
All right, I've thought a great deal about these words, so this is a prayer of St. Francis Assisi. Make us an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, truth. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Grant that we may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, and to be loved as to love. For it is in pardoning that we are pardoned. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And Bill, the clerk, take the roll call, please.
Councilman Blevins.
Here.
Councilman Schlack.
Present.
Councilman Valerius.
Here.
Councilwoman Syke.
Here.
Councilman Lloyd.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lally.
Here.
And Mayor McLeod.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
Motion.
Motion by whom?
Schlack.
Second by Tony.
Second by Tony Lally.
Yes, sir.
Any corrections to the agenda? If there are none, then can we take a vote on approval?
All right, I have a just making sure I'm not muted. I have a motion by Schlack, supported by Lally, to approve the agenda as presented for June 9th, 2020. Shall this agenda pass as presented? Councilman Blevins.
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
Mayor McLeod.
Yes.
Councilman Schlack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke.
Yes.
Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The agenda does pass as presented.
Thank you. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes for the regular meeting held May 26th?
Motion. Valerius.
Motion by Valerius,
Support Blevins.
supported by Blevins. Any corrections? Hearing none, will you call the roll?
All right, there's a motion to approve the minutes of May 26th by Councilman Valerius, supported by Councilman Blevins. Shall these minutes pass as written? Pro Tem Lally.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
Mayor McLeod.
Yes.
Councilman Schlack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke.
Yes.
Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
Councilman Blevins.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The motion passes as presented.
Okay, now we'll move on to organizational business. Mr. Kibbe.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council, and Allen Park residents. On the street improvement millage, GV Cement, our contractor, they have poured nearly all the west side of Park Avenue. They've also started to remove the old asphalt on the east side of the street. They had about maybe 50 to 100 feet left on the east side, or I apologize, on the west side, and they were doing a storm water or a storm sewer tap in there. Started to remove the other asphalt. They're actually hoping if everything they get the approval for the current concrete, that they can actually start pouring the east side by the end of the week. So they're moving along really well. All the driveway approaches on the west side have been restored with the exception of one. There's a sidewalk issue. We need to get the grade right on the sidewalk, and that'll be sometime in the next couple of days. They'll get that poured. And then hopefully by the next week, maybe the end of next week, they'll be over on Robinson Avenue, starting that project. And that is between Champaign and Berkshire. So hopefully, weather permitting and timing permits and everything, they'll be able to get over there. Contractor for the street sectioning is Savone Cement, and he started today to replace Blair Court from Northway Avenue to the cul-de-sac. I know there are hopefully some very happy people over there. Northway Blair Court was in really rough shape over there, so definitely need there. For the DPS facility project, I put down here in my notes a visual survey was done. So Bob and Dave were out, I think, hitting golf balls out there, and they were doing their visual inspection, and they came about approximately 20 mature trees. So we ended up contracting with a tree spade guy, and he ended up moving those 20 trees that would have been in the construction zone and would have been had to be taken out and cut down. They've been transplanted into the area that we have reserved for the dog park or future dog park. There's possibility that some of them may be in the way now because of where some topsoil may need to be held and so forth, but still a much better opportunity to save those trees than to just let them go through be knocked down and send through the wood chipper. They were probably in the caliper range of 4 to 5 inches. $200 is what it costs to move them. If to go to buy those trees from a DNL type location, you're probably looking anywhere from $1,600 to $2,000. So still a pretty good investment. Even if we lose a couple over the course of time, we're still further ahead. And I think it was environmentally right thing to do, correct thing to do, and save some money in the long run. Now that if the dog park comes to fruition, the trees will be more of a mature side as opposed to putting in a 1.5, 2 inch caliper tree that's going to take some time to grow. So something positive going on there. Here at the City Hall and the Police Department, the parking lot will be sealed and painted before the end of the month. Savone was in to do some repairs on the asphalt for the new island that was installed for the drop box. And he also did a couple other repairs in the parking lot to get that all set. We had a couple areas where the asphalt was just starting to get a little bit of a potholing. So we took care of that. They'll come in and go ahead and seal those and restripe the parking lot here, and we should have that done before the end of the month. I don't want to give a date at this point in time because weather is going to be the factor on that, but it will get that taken care of. If you haven't been to City Hall in a while, the lines are rather faint. They're extremely faint out there, so definitely in need of that to be done. The tentative plan here is to reopen City Hall, DPS, and the Parks and Recreation offices on Monday, June 15th. So the public can come in. As I sit here in my spot in the office, I can see outside. I do see a lot of people coming in that want to use City Hall. We do have a sign that encourages them they can use the drop box. If you notice in your own mail in the last couple weeks, you've got a lot. Your regular water bills have come in, anything like that. But you also received the application for the absentee ballot that's going to be required to vote in August and in November. So a lot of people dropping that off. It's rather interesting to watch people try to use the drop box because they pull in the wrong way and then have to get out of the car to drop the stuff over. So I could have a nice, interesting video, but if you want any entertainment, come on up. But they are making their way to the box. We'll get it striped where there's an arrow to show people the right way to come in, and hopefully they don't have to get out of their car to make that drop. And then also starting the 15th, the library will be doing curbside pickup. And they're also working with the Parks and Recreation Department on home delivery of the book services. And I don't know all the details on that portion yet, but they'll be getting that published on their website. And I think they have a website. I know they do have a Facebook page, and we'll get that information shared as well, so they can residents can pull up to the building. They're going to be at a numbered slot. They'll bring the books out that you've ordered ahead of time out to you. And then in the case of the home delivery, Pat will be utilizing the senior bus services. When they drop a resident off at the doctor's office, they have some time. They'll be able to make the deliveries for the library to those residents. And I believe Sandy was a donation of some boxes. I think they're going to be in a box, and that'll be like an Amazon delivery, I guess. And they'll go right on the porch for the people to pick up their books right from their front door. And then as we just ended our 5:30 meeting, and I know everybody may mention this, but I do want to say a little bit here. Thank you to the Allen Park Police Department and Lincoln Park Police Department for their professionalism in handling the protest from last week, and also DPS and the fire department again. A great job. This is a the community really comes together and the departments come together to make sure things happen without issue. And that was another prime example of that, of departments working together once again. And I say it time and time again, and I'm going to say it again. We have some of the best department heads I've worked with, and I am very fortunate to work with them. I think we're very fortunate to have them here in Allen Park. They really are caring individuals that want the best for the community, and I see that every day. So I'm very fortunate to be able to work with them.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the administrator's report? I had one. Since we have tentative plans to reopen City Hall on the 15th, can I assume that our next council meeting in all probability will be in council chambers?
Mayor, I would leave that up to you and the council to make that final decision. I would love to have you all back here. I like seeing everybody in person. I think the Zoom really works well for the timing that we were here in this situation. The problem that I feel is that the interaction isn't as good as it is in person. But we're still fortunate that we have the opportunity to still conduct city business. And we didn't have to stop and just kind of put everything on hiatus at that point. But I would love to see everybody back in here in person. We can make additional changes to the council seating for everybody to be spaced a little bit more apart. But I would leave that up to Mayor, to you, and maybe a little bit further discussion amongst all of us to make sure that that's the comfort level is there. I don't think I'd want to have anybody show up that doesn't want to, wouldn't feel comfortable being in that situation at all. But that's my own feeling. But we'll make it happen on our end.
I know that there's been some discussion about the ability to spread everybody out and moving some people off of the dais and into the audience area, and that's doable. I'm assuming that we would have to probably limit the number of residents who could attend based on the capacity and the ability to spread them out. And then there might also be the option of doing both that and doing a Zoom for the council meeting from the chamber.
I would agree. I think that we could figure out, have a camera there to show all of the people that do show up. And let's say, I'll pick on Joe. I don't want to pick on any council people. I'll pick on Joe. Let's say Joe wants to stay at the house, and then he could still be Zooming in, and we could see him on the Zoom. We can make that work from our end. I might have to call my two resident experts, Councilman Valerius and Councilman Lloyd, as we were talking about them being experts earlier. Well, yeah, I think we certainly can make that happen. And again, I think it's a matter of people's comfort level of what they feel comfortable in being in that in a public forum.
Through the chair.
Yes.
So Mark and maybe Joe chime in on this. Would if the meeting was available online via Zoom or whatever it may be, with the current order from the governor, would that satisfy our Open Meetings Act requirement? You're muted, Joe.
You're muted, Joe.
Hold on, Joe.
Okay, Joe, you're good.
So the governor's order enables us to have these types of meetings, the Zoom meetings. And by doing this, we're not violating the Open Meetings Act. So the Open Meetings Act would not preclude us from meeting in a normal fashion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if we were limiting residents' access to a in-person meeting, but
that would be a problem. Yeah,
but they were.
Yeah. We would need to. I think, well, number one, this hasn't even been addressed by anyone, but my initial thought is, and I haven't had a chance to think it through, is if we're going to be there, we need to leave it open to the public, or at least provide them some means to get there via Zoom and participate in the meeting.
Right, that's why I had indicated we could do both.
Yeah.
Councilman Lloyd,
if I could interject one more thing. I should have written it down. At one of these conference calls that I call into, Mayor Bill Wild from Westland had indicated that they opened up last week, and he would be willing to share some of the things that they've gone through and what they've done. And I did a email follow-up with him and haven't heard back, and I emailed again last night via their website. And he said that they were still formulating and putting things together and that he'd get information back to me. So that might prove to be helpful too, because if we've got to space out the attendees, you know, I think we could probably do live and Zoom, and then you're covered as far as open meetings.
I was going to interject if I could through the chair. I'm looking here, Councilman Lloyd. It looks like Executive Order 2020-75 is the extension of the executive order allowing public bodies to meet remotely, and that expires June 30th of this year. So she did extend. The governor did have one. She extended that out, and that's what we're meeting under. So it's Executive Order 2020-75.
Does anybody else have any further questions on the administrator's report?
I do, through the chair.
Yes.
Mark, are we using a non-coal tar sealant for our parking lot?
Yeah, that was the one. I think that was your question when we went to bid on these, or we did the award, and that was Sohail did confirm that it was what we bid out. Okay, good. I just want to make sure that's still what we were doing. Yeah, this is the bid that we did a couple of months ago when we were still in person, I believe. And this is a community bid.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's
Thank
been
you.
a while.
Yeah.
But I remember you're bringing that up in the discussion on it, and that's good. Any other questions?
Okay. I'm emailing that out to the council right now. Mike, I did not get you. Hold on, I'm gonna. Mike, I'll email that to you in a second here. But council, I just emailed you Executive Order 75.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, if there's no further questions, can I have a motion where am I? To accept and
administrator's
file the
report.
administrator's report.
Motion.
Motion by Sykes,
Second, Lloyd.
second by Lloyd.
Who was the motion?
Motion by
Pam
Pam Sykes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you, Mayor. Okay, I have a motion by Councilwoman Sykes, supported by Lloyd, to adopt to approve to accept and file the updates, reports, and document submissions. Shall we accept them, Councilman Lloyd?
Lloyd.
Yes.
Sure. Oh, sorry. Mayor McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
Councilman Sykes,
Yes.
Councilman Valerius,
Yes.
Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
and Pro Tem Lally.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The motion does pass.
Thank you. We now come to the public comments portion of tonight's meeting. If there's any public out there that would like to comment.
If Mike Darg is still in the room, I'm gonna allow him to talk right away because he needs to leave, I understand.
Okay.
Greetings, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
very good. First off, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to see everybody this evening. On behalf of Allen Park Public Schools, Mr. Lloyd kind of spoke about it a little earlier, but I did want to mention this Saturday we are hosting our Diploma Day, just to make everybody aware of that. It is being hosted at Allen Park High School along Champaign from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. And we're also hosting the same day, same event for Allen Park Community School over at our Riley building. And that will go from 12 p.m., 12 noon to 3 p.m. So we do have information. I will forward our letters that we put out to our families to the mayor so that you guys have a record of that. We do have it separated out by alphabet, so we're hoping to have just about 60 cars per every 2 hours or so. They will be kind of snaked around our building, going through the back lot. back around the auditorium. We do not anticipate too much traffic actually on Champaign because of that. However, just to let the city know, I will also give an update to the police chief as well. The traffic going in front of the school will be at a slow roll, like many of the schools are doing throughout Wayne County. Allowing the parents to stay in their cars and view their graduate as they go through different photo stations and, of course, on the stage. Their names. Chosen to read the names by popular request from our parents. So they'll be reading as they cross the stage. They'll get their diploma and take some photos and then hop back in the car and safely cruise on down the road.
Nice.
Mike, do you know what the route is going to be by Riley?
So they're gonna, and I'll send you that map as well. They're actually gonna go in front of Riley and right down Vine Street. There's that little turnaround. We only have 40 students that will be graduating, and not all of those students are participating. So they've also got that kind of scattered throughout the 3-hour time frame. So we don't anticipate any traffic issues there. But again, you know, we hope there's not any traffic issues. And
Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask Mr. Darga?
I'm sorry, Mr. Darg, what was the day for the community school again?
Same day, Saturday the 13th,
All right.
this Saturday.
As you know, I'm a former Penguin, so I'll have to split my time.
That's right. That's right. And that's what I'll be doing also. I'll be going back and forth between the two.
All right, awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Darga.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
There, Douglas on hits a question. I want to allow him to talk. He may have a question for Mike. Mike's gone.
No, I'm here.
He's here.
Hi, Mr.
Hi,
Darga.
guys.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Can you please forward that information to me also so I can pass along to my crew on Saturday?
I will definitely do that. Not a problem at all.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Okay, I've got Sue Susheta. Hold on one second here.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sue.
He's still muted.
Okay, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if I arrive for the study session and it's live and the meeting, will you let me in? If you meet in person?
Oh, on the 23rd?
Yeah, so I don't have to watch online.
As long as we can be spread out sufficiently.
Are you going to do your study session in the auditorium like you did just before COVID hit?
And I think that's something we'll have to determine, but in all probability, we don't all want to be confined in a small area, so.
Yeah, I can only seat 8 people in the conference room, so we would have to be out in the council chambers.
Okay, sounds good. I'll see you in 2 weeks then. Thank you.
Do we have any other public out there? They're all out doing yard work. Okay, then we'll close the public comments section and move on to the consent agenda. We have purchasing actions, claims and accounts on the payroll report, and finance actions, the May 2020 finance overview, budget to actual report, balance sheet, and cash flow. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion, Blevins.
Motion by Blevins,
Second, Valerius.
second by Valerius. Mike, would you take the roll call?
All right, I have a motion by Blevins, supported by Valerius, to accept the consent agenda items. Shall this pass? Mayor McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke,
Yes.
Councilman Valerius,
Yes.
Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally,
Yes.
and Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The consent agenda does pass. Next item is resolutions.
Okay, resolution 1 is the resolution to authorize the awarding of the Brier Rabbit Park project to Game Time in the amount of $126,763.10, and to waive the formal bid process, APCO 2-824-4, no economic advantage, since we utilize the OMNIA Partners bid program with the project to be funded through the Wayne County Parks Millage Grant.
Tony Lawley
I
makes
have
the
a
motion.
Thank you, Tony.
Second, Schlack.
Second by Schleck. Are there any questions?
I'm going to share my screen real fast for the public so they can see what that project's going to look like. Get that here. And I think this, again, as we talked earlier, as Tony pointed out, this will have the safety tiles that we have at Humpty Dumpty, and it is ADA compliant as well. So be another nice project in that neighborhood. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll work with Tom, and maybe next year we can do additional concrete work in that area and really come full circle with the whole project.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
We're trying to get a little sophisticated here with our technology Zoom meetings now.
You're doing a fine job at it, man.
This will be the last one. I won't need to do these anymore. Come on.
Lloyd must have taught you everything he knows about this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's something that didn't come up in our work session, is the fact that it's ADA compliant, and that is also very, very positive. So thank you for that. If there's no other questions, we'll take the roll call.
Okay, Mayor, I have a motion by Pro Tem Lally, excuse me, supported by Councilman Schlack, to approve the Brier Rabbit Park project to Game Time. Shall this resolution pass? Councilman Schlack.
Yes.
Councilman Syke.
Yes.
Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
Councilman Blevins.
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
He can't hear you.
Oh, Councilman Lloyd.
Tony.
Yes. Sorry.
And Mayor McLeod. Oh, no.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The motion does pass. Next item.
Next item is resolution 2, which is the resolution to approve the fire department to purchase 2 2020 Ford Ranger pickup trucks and 1 2020 Ford F-250 pickup truck from Signature Ford through the Macomb County bid purchasing program in the amount of $103,038, and to waive the formal bid process, APCO 2-824-4, no economic advantage, since we utilize the Macomb County bid purchasing program with funds for this purchase coming from account 401-000-985.002 capital outlay public safety 2020-21 budget. I have a motion.
Motion Blevins.
Motion Blevins,
Support Valerius.
support Valerius. Any questions or comments? Perhaps the police chief could just, for the public, explain a little bit about what's being done and why the particular vehicles.
Yes, good evening, everybody. We're replacing 3 2007 vehicles, so they're coming up on 14 years old this fall. The 2 Ranger pickups will be for the chief and deputy chief's use for responding to runs, transporting their equipment, and so on. The F-250 is what we call a utility vehicle. That's used for standby on down wires, standing by at a house fire after the fact until the building's secured, used for our personnel to attend classes, that sort of thing, so they don't have to, obviously take fire apparatus to that sort of stuff. Essentially, we're replacing all 3 vehicles because, at that age, they're coming to the end of their service life, and it's time to get something new.
And would you like to kind of also mention about some of the rules and regulations?
Oh, yeah, sure.
That-
Yeah. Currently, myself and the deputy chief, we drive Ford Explorers. And so we transport our gear and, equipment for doing fire investigations, that sort of thing. It's stored inside the passenger compartment with us, which is a violation of MIOSHA and NFPA because of the carcinogens and that sort of thing that can be all over that type of equipment. They recommend, that sort of thing not be transported in the passenger compartment. That's why we made the switch from an SUV style vehicle to a pickup truck. That and the fact that they're actually a little bit cheaper than a Ford Explorer, which is nice. We save a little bit of money, and we'll be able to get a lot more use out of them. Just transporting things around. Something as simple as when the deputy chief has to go to Sam's Club for supplies, he'll be able to transport it a lot easier in this style of vehicle. All the way to if we're at a fire scene and we need to get fire hose, dirty hose back to the station, we can transport in the back of our vehicle. All around, they'll just be much more utilitarian vehicles for the department going into the future. And
Hey,
the
does
Rangers
anybody have any questions? No. Okay, then Mike, if you'll take the roll call.
All right, I have a motion by Blevins, supported by Valerius, for the purchase of 3 different pickups. And shall this resolution pass, Councilman Syke?
Yes.
Councilman Valerius?
Yes.
Councilman Blevins?
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally?
Definitely, yes.
Councilman Lloyd?
Yes.
Mayor McLeod?
Yes.
Councilman Schlack?
Yes.
The yeses have it, the motion passes.
Thank you. Resolution 3, resolution to approve the fire department to purchase 2 Life Pack 15 or I5V4 monitor defibrillators and 2 Lucas 3 V3.1 chest compression systems in the amount of $104,842.95, and to waive the formal bid process. No economic advantage. Stryker is the sole source provider of the Life Pack I5 and Lucas 3, and it will be purchased using the Wayne County bulk buy program, with funds for this purchase coming from account 401-000-985.002 capital outlay public safety 2020-21 budget. You have a motion.
I make the motion for the.
Mr. Lally, thank you.
Yes.
Second, Lloyd.
Second by Mr. Lloyd. Any questions or comments?
I'd like to know a little bit of explanation about the light pack that he's talking about. I've never seen it before. I'd like to know what it looks like and how's it work.
Sure. The Life Pack 15, we currently have 2 of these in service that are around 10 years old, and they are currently on our ambulances. And then on our engines, we have older models of a different model of defibrillator. So what we're looking to do here, and those units are about 15 years old. And as you know, electronic equipment, 15 years old, they might as well be made of sticks and rocks anymore. So what we're going to do is take our older Life Pack 15s, we're going to put those on our engines, and then these new units will go on our ambulances. And what these are is, like you see on TV when you see them shock somebody in cardiac arrest, these are the units that do that. Not only do they do that, but we can do what's called a 12-lead EKG and send that directly to the cardiologist at either Beaumont or Henry Ford Wyandotte. And the cardiologist can be on the golf cart with his smartphone, and we can send him an EKG of a heart attack victim and actually head to the hospital and meet us there and go directly to the cath lab, which is pretty cool stuff. Many times we bypass the emergency room when we send in the EKG ahead of time, and we will transport directly to the cath lab because of these units. They're state of the art. They're the best made out there. Stryker's a Michigan company. They're on the west side of the state. They're the same company, if you recall, that we got our power loader and power cots from. not that long ago. They kind of have the monopoly in good hospital equipment. And while I got you on here, I wanted to mention the chest compression systems that we're also getting from them. We just, when all this COVID stuff happened, it happened to fall right into this. We were getting them for a different reason originally, because they do free up, they actually do the chest compressions during CPR for us. So it frees up, personnel on scene. There's not the fatigue involved like normally. I don't know if anybody's ever had to do chest compressions. It's very tiring. But what they also do is it Bluetooths with the LifePak system, with the LifePak 15. So when we print out our report, when all is said and done, it actually shows the nice, consistent, rhythmic compressions were done through the whole CPR. And but right now, not only Department of Defense, American Heart Association, and the CDC are all recommending EMS entities to use these devices to get the medics away from the patient while doing compressions, because obviously that's something you do that would create aerosolization, through the respiratory system. And with the COVID-19 virus going around, the further we can get from that sort of a situation, the better. So they're actually recommending these devices be used on all CPRs right now. But we had planned on asking for them before that, but it's just one more good reason why we should get them. And we did demo one of these for a couple months back in the fall, and then we demoed a couple other similar units, and it was unanimous here at our department. Every one of our medics said this was the best device, and it just so happens that it does Bluetooth and work right with our cardiac monitors that we use, so it was a win-win.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else have a question? Okay, hearing none, Mike will take the roll call.
Okay, I have a motion by Pro Tem Lally, supported by Councilman Lloyd, to approve the purchase of the Life Pack in the Lucas. Shall we make these purchases? Councilman Valerius,
Yes.
Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally,
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
Mayor McLeod,
Yes,
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Syke.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The motion is passed unanimously.
right. Now we come to council comments, and this evening we are going to start out with Charles.
Okay. I'm glad that I made to another Zoom meeting without my computer going off. So I'm glad that the next meeting we'll be meeting together again. I want to say thank you to Mark and the team for we finally painted the City Hall sign pole. It's not rusty anymore, so nice clean color. I know I've been talking about that since I was non-council and stuff, so thank you for small steps and makes big impact. I want to say good job to all those who participated with the protest march. I want to say her name was Cindy who ran it. She did a fantastic job, and I'm so glad to be in Allen Parker that we were open arms with that, with everyone. To all the LGBTQ plus Happy Pride Month. Means a lot to me being open council member, wearing rainbow tie and my heart pin. To all those who think about being different, it's okay. And I'm always here to listen, and I'm always here to represent everyone. I want to say Happy Father's Day, because that's coming up before our next meeting. To all the fathers out there living or up in heaven. I know my father, he's looking down on me, probably like, good job. To the class of 2020, congrats on what you accomplished. My advice to you when you're going into the real world or the adult world is for you all to believe in yourself, make and work hard, work for your goals. Remember where you came from, lovely city of Allen Park. If you don't succeed the first time in your goals, try again. Keep pushing forward. Never stop speaking on your beliefs. Let your voice be heard. Have confidence. Learn from history and never give up on what you want to achieve. And once again, congrats to class of 2020. And with that, God bless, think positive, and I yield with my comments.
Mr. Lally.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, council people, mayor. It's my pleasure being here today. I just want to say one thing. I want to thank all the people that did the peaceful presentation walk. I wish I could have walked with you guys, but I couldn't because of my hips. So I told the mayor I'll wait for you at the city hall, in which I did. It was very peaceful. I really liked the way you guys talked. Matter of fact, the chief of police did a heck of a job, and so did the Lieutenant Egan. Did a beautiful job. God bless you guys and all of them together. I did say something about Humpty Dumpty, and I'll tell you that park is really nice. You guys should go see that. If you did, I apologize, but you still can. But the only thing I have concerns me with those parks is you really have to watch the kids. But I would like to see a fence put on it too eventually. I know it costs money, and we have to probably get more grants to get that done from Wayne County. That would be possible to put a nice fence around, like the park on Duda on Park Avenue, the black fence. We paid a lot of money for that. The Kiwanis did. But anyway, that's part of it, and they did a beautiful job, and the park is going to look good with that padding on there. That's really fantastic. I want to congratulate again to the Allen Park Senior High School and Cabrini and First Baptist Church, the Inner City Baptist Church. And I believe the banners are going to be up before this Saturday coming up on Park Avenue for Allen Park. The lady called me up and told me, I don't know why she called me, because I know her dad. And she said that you could announce it on the air tonight. They're going to put the banners up on Park Avenue, and you have plenty of room for them. And then Cabrini has a banners to put up by next Monday, and Inner City Baptist banners to put up from the Dollar Show on down. I think I said that last time. I want to thank the clubs from Allen Park Kiwanis Club to put a nice sign up there at the intersection of Ecorse and Roosevelt and Allen Road to thank all the essential workers in the area. That was very nice. A big end of applause goes to them. They still take care of the community and the kids of the world. Oh, by the way, I got a call from Meals on Wheels. They're open again. So now every Monday I deliver meals, but I couldn't do it this Monday because I had a procedure I had to go to get tested for COVID, and I got results. I'm negative on COVID, so I'm pretty good at that. God bless America. I'm going to have a procedure on Thursday, so that's why I needed that procedure done. And I agree. I agree with Mark Kibbe and the mayor. I think the visible to be in chambers is much better than the Zoom. It's more personal. And even though we have to stay apart a little bit, that's not a problem. We can stay apart. I mean, it's not a big deal. And I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. And thank you very much. Thank you for all the comments that the citizens made. Thank you to all my council people. I want to personally thank all the city workers and the city administrators on down. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Dan?
I would like to echo the feelings of thanks. I taking part in the march last week. I have never been more proud to be a citizen of Allen Park. I was incredibly proud of the protesters who carried themselves peacefully, and I was incredibly proud of our police officers who acted professionally and conducted themselves in a manner that is fitting with our great city. And I am truly appreciative of that. I think that we've all watched in horror in the last couple of weeks with the events that have gone on around our nation, as we've grappled with what is truly America's original sin of race. And it has been challenging and heart-wrenching. And unfortunately, sometimes we have the mentality that we exist in a bubble, that these things don't impact us or affect us here. And they very much do. And I'm Councilwoman Sykes, Pam, after the rally, she mentioned to me, this really stuck with me. She said, you have our attention, now what's next? And I think that that's truly the important question, because it's one thing to gather and to have phrases and to protest. It's another thing to enact meaningful change. And that is going to be hard. But I have every bit of faith in the work that Chief Lukowitz have put in. I know that Lieutenant Egan will continue that work and further that work. And I have absolute faith in the members of this council to make Allen Park the city that we all want to live in, one that is inclusive to every race, creed, religion, orientation. And I know that it'll be hard and there'll be challenges, but we can do that together. There's a phrase going back a while, is Allen Park strong. We can do this, and we need to do this. This is urgent. I would also like to tell Councilman Blevins how important to me is as an educator. We have a vibrant LGBTQ community at Allen Park High School, and many students that I care deeply about are members of that community, and how meaningful it is that he is open and proud gay man that is serving on Allen Park Council. And I'm truly thankful to have you as a role model for my students. And it means a great deal to me. And I think that we all are, this is a month to be proud. And I hope that thank you.
Thank you.
One more thanks goes to Sandy Blackney for the curbside pickup for the library. As an English teacher that is desperately trying to get his students to read over summer, that is a crucial service. And I am so excited that I can take away that one excuse from them that they can't access a book. All right, because I know that they can. And so, Ms. Blackney, thank you so much for what you do and continuing to service our community. And I just hope everybody has a great evening and a great night. I yield my time.
Thank you. Pam?
All right. I guess we'll start off with the march. I was very moved by it, and I really am serious about wanting us to move forward and to find out the best way to do that. It will take time, but the conversations are happening. The conversations are starting to be more heard and to be accepted. And I was very proud of everyone involved the other day. I had to dye my hair because I didn't like seeing all the gray, but it was really moving. And I'm so proud of our community, and I'm so proud of our officers and everyone involved. It was a very peaceful march, and it was just so much better than some of the other places that these things have happened. And I was so very proud. And then I would like to say thank you to the Senior Alliance. Over the past few months, I've been going and getting food for some of our seniors and dropping it off. Thank you very much for all the food that was given out to our seniors, and to the Alliance, thank you for allowing us to pick up quite a few and drop them off. Let's see. Of course, I want to wish congratulations, happy Father's Day to all our fathers here in Allen Park, and to members of our LGBTQ. I finally got the initials right, Charles. Had to write them down though. I'm so, celebrate your month. And as far as Charles goes, I've known him for a long time, and I'm very proud of him, more than I could probably ever express in words how proud I am of him. And then I would like to say congratulations to the seniors. It's the next phase of your life is starting, and it's exciting, and learn all you can and travel. That would be my advice to you, is to travel whenever possible. And with all that, I think I have everything that I wanted to say. Thank you very much, and you all have a very wonderful few weeks until we can see you again.
Thank you. Matthew.
That's not for me, so. Once again, I appreciate the time tonight to spend with my fellow members of council and the residents of Allen Park. It's 2020 so far. Here we are, only into June, and it's amazing to think of everything that we've gone through in half a year. From a global pandemic and what we're seeing happen now. I think Dan said it best. You could be overwhelmed with either the negativity that we witness and see, or you could be inspired by the change that we all hope to see happen. And I think you have to concentrate. Charles, you inspire us in so many different ways. And your message of positivity, not only as a person, as a council person, is inspiring. Like as Pam said, she's known you for a while. I met Charles working at the Henry Ford before anything even happened with council, and I'm honored to call you my friend, and I'm honored to serve on city council with you. Overwhelming display at the protest. I think useless in a lot of ways, but also inspired in so many ways as well. At the end of the school year being upon us, and we're starting to see things open back up, I'd like to encourage the citizens of Allen Park to support your local businesses, your local restaurants, your local eateries, your small mom and pop shops. The struggle's not over with, for sure. You're still looking at 50% capacity, which is going to be a struggle, for the time being until things, return to full, capacity, and we don't know how long that's going to be. So, it's important whether you're still going to order takeout, or if you're going to go personally visit them now that they're back open. I think it's really important to support them as much as possible, in this transition time. It doesn't mean that all of them are opening back up for in-house business. So, some of them are still doing carry out only. So it's important, once again, to support those businesses. They're the lifeblood of our city, and, they've been suffering. And now that, we could see some change, it's still important for us to continue to support them as much as we did during the shutdown and during the closure. Yeah, the poems are still coming to me, so I just this is just a short one. Thinking about the events and thinking about the things, and Gary's already given me a look because Gary's going last, and he always, he loves having it, and he hates going behind me. I'm sorry, Gary. So I'm just keeping it short. So I'm still giving you some life. Okay, so I'll just read this. It's something I was thinking about right before the meeting, based upon the events that transpired over the last week and everything that we've been kind of going through. Day can turn cloudy, and a storm can bring fear. Sometimes it's not what you see, but what you hear. Listen around you and offer a helping hand. Open up your hearts and minds. Instead of sitting down, stand. Take some time to think of others. Walking in someone else's shoes is the key. It's a that we all should practice. That's key. When I used to teach speech for so many years in school, giving public addresses and giving public speeches, empathy is such a strong tool. To put yourself in someone else's shoes, to put yourself in someone else's position and see things from their point of view, from where they stand, from their feelings, from their thoughts, instead of only concentrating, like Dan said, getting caught in your own personal bubble. Look at things from open view, and I think that really is the key, seeing things. So with that, everyone have a great week. Like I said, I do look forward to, if it does happen, to meet personally in City Hall, in council chambers with all of you at the next city council meeting. And I yield my time. Have a good night.
Thank you, Matthew. Gary, and please keep in mind that Gary got to go first last time. So.
Yeah. I'll make this short and sweet. I just want to echo what everyone else said. And it is difficult going last sometimes, but what everyone said is just fantastic things. I mean, all I can say is I felt incredibly moved to be at the scene in front of our city hall, protesters protesting with their right, which is something I deeply believe in. And I went there thinking, it was like, okay, I'm going to be there in support, but once I started hearing the chants, and I stood shoulder to shoulder with some of my council folks and some of the protesters, I felt really moved in a way I've never felt before. And I just had a sense of, wow, this is living history. And everything that we've only served on council less than a year, and so much has happened in such a little period of time that Matt, don't ever feel like you're stealing my thunder, if you will. You definitely aren't. I think we all come to this council and all have something to contribute, and that's what I think has made our council so peaceful so far, and happy to see us together. I also want to give a big shout out to Charles. Definitely say it loud and proud. So don't ever hold back on that. I have some friends on the community, and I don't treat them any differently. And even though we talked a lot about the African American community, and the Pride movement has definitely had their fair share of prejudice and beat up, and the Stonewall riots come to mind. Harvey Milk comes to mind. So don't ever shy away. Be proud of who you are, and that goes with any citizen in our great city that feels that way. And if you don't feel it's time now, come out at your own time. Do your thing. And finally, I'll conclude by, two things. One, also thankful to our police department, fire department for making sure, especially our police department, making sure the protest was safe and donating our water we did. And finally, in conclusion, since we won't be together for next, happy Father's Day to everyone that's a father. So Matt, Tony, Mark. Well, I know, Dan, you're not a father yet, or Charles.
Oh, he's a father someplace.
I'll never be one.
You'll never be one, Pam.
Oh, Pam, the other one, Dan.
But, and Mike. Jeez, God, I can't believe I almost forgot Mike. So the black screen, I was like, wait a minute. But happy Father's Day to everyone. I celebrate my second Father's Day, and every time I look at my son going, oh my God, it's been 2 years. I just remember him as an infant in my arms. Now I try to put him in my arms, he wiggles out of my arms. But definitely, happy Father's Day to everyone. Thank you for keeping the protest peaceful. Thank you again for every public servant that serves our great city. And I can't wait to see everyone. It was great to see everyone at the protest, but I can't wait to see everyone when we can talk to our city's business in
Thank
person.
you. Very nice.
Because I agree with everyone that said that it's definitely feels more comfortable to be around each other. I think the energy that we share is felt more than over a Zoom screen. But I am thankful that we are able to conduct business via Zoom when needed. With that, I yield my time. I will see everyone in 2 weeks, and citizens of Allen Park, I will see you soon.
Mike, did you have anything?
Yeah, I just, so much said, God bless, but really we should touch down on, I really like to touch down on Councilman Valera's comment about Allen Park businesses. That is the most important thing our citizens can do after the shutdown is over, is spend your stimulus check money in Allen Park as much as you can. Okay, that is literally the number one thing an Allen Park resident could do to help this city and its businesses. With that being said, thank everybody for tuning in tonight. God bless you and good night.
Good, but see, everybody, you all complain about being last, and you forget that I'm always last. I never get to go through the rotation and be first. You guys at least get a rotation. Me, I'm always left, and what am I left with? Just echoing everybody else, but
Last but not least.
I did make some notes. With regard to the march, I know that not everybody was able to, and I'll tell you, it was a little warm, and it was a good experience, and I think we owe a lot to our police and all of our city employees. I know when I first saw the email, the first thing that was in that email was the police saying, was the comment that the police were reaching out to the organizers to see how they could help them and make sure everybody had safe passage, trying to find out what their route was, how they were going to cross Southfield, that they were going to have cases of water for them. And then, of course, we had the police who went down and gathered at Sears and communicated and talked to the individuals. And, you know, this is not a perfect world, but we have been doing things here in Allen Park for a number of years now, I think, where we have attempted to do more outreach to the community. We have our Cop on the Block, which is very successful. It shows our policemen in a very personable manner. There are many programs that can still be implemented. I have had conversations with Chris Egan about some things that I've seen in other communities, and he is very supportive of those, indicating that a number of these programs go a long way in creating better communications between your police and your residents, and having everyone have a better understanding. You were right, the young lady who led that was named Cindy, and I don't know how old she was, not very old, but she kept things very much under control. I also wanted to give a thank you because we did reach out to several of the chaplain corps who came and were present in case we needed them to talk to anyone or counsel anyone, and that was Pastor Basio and Pastor Harshberger. As many of you know, Representative Dingle walked. She walked the entire route all the way back down to Lincoln Park. And again, we talked about our police, the DPS, and I even saw some of the Parks and Rec people out there, I think, helping to move barriers. So all in all, it was a tremendous effort. People, again, working together as we do very well in this community. And kind of piggybacking on that, as far as things that are going on in our community, before COVID started, the Allen Park Public Schools were having community conversations on diversity and race. And I had the opportunity to attend 2 of them before COVID hit. My desire was to get this communication further out into the community because I don't think enough people are fully aware of it. And you probably can't see, maybe, yeah. There was an email that was sent, but the hands on it, I'm hoping that this can be continued with the start of the new school year in some fashion, and that we get more participation from not only the residents, but the parents of the children who are in school. And again, some of the things that Dan mentioned, and some of the things that we know some of our children go through because of ongoing biases and prejudices and opinions. We need to get rid of the stereotypes and the misinformation and the misperceptions about people. We're all created by God. We need to keep that in mind. My notes on diversity. We have the, just wanted to tell people about this Heroes Coin program that the Parks and Recreation has going on. For a minimum donation of $10, you get a nice coin that you can present to someone you feel has done something outstanding above and beyond. And that money is going to fund PPE equipment for various activities that Parks and Recreation would like to put on this summer to ensure that people who attend, keeping proper distancing, also have some PPE equipment. The forms are available either on our Facebook page, the city Facebook page, or the Parks and Recreation Facebook page. Very nice coins. I've purchased several of them. I don't know how many of you take the time, and I don't know how many residents take the time to read through some of the operations reports that come out. But again, they're very interesting. The fire department has indicated that they are continuing to stockpile PPE, not only for the fire department, but for the rest of the city employees. And their goal is to be fully prepared if there's a resurgence this summer or a return during the next cold and flu season. The DDA has been doing a stellar job in trying to keep the businesses up to date on what's happening with the various openings and trying to provide guidelines as to how to approach and what they should be doing. And I know it hasn't been an easy task because some of the executive orders and changes and appeals were flying fast and furious. So, and I know that Jennifer, right from the get-go, was out there promoting the DDA restaurants and businesses and doing everything she could to make sure that they got through this. So again, reinforcing what everybody has said about supporting your local business. Getting on to just, I guess I have more to say than I thought. A couple of things. First of all, we should all wish Mike Mizzy a very happy birthday. He will be celebrating that tomorrow.
Oh, thank you,
Happy
guys.
birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Mike.
22.
Oh, boy, yeah.
I was thinking
I
22.
also been trying to sit in on school board meetings, and I was looking at yesterday's agenda and I sat in on that. And we should also congratulate our own Dan Lloyd for gaining tenure.
Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. I actually didn't know
congratulations.
that got approved at yesterday's meeting. So thank you so much, Gail.
I sat in on that meeting. I scribbled all over my little agenda that I had from there. So I think, and that's about it. I did get in an email. I just want to comment on this because there's a lot of scams and fraud going around, and I'm sure you've all gotten the one I've sent out about unemployment compensation. Pass that along to anybody you know, because that seems to be running rampant. But the other thing that I got in a communication was the fact to remember there are currently no FDA approved products to prevent or treat COVID-19. And the Federal Trade Commission announced it has sent warning letters to 35 more drug marketers to make sure they stop their claims that their products can treat or prevent COVID-19. And over 160 companies have received this type of warning so far. And it's important for us all to remember that any company claiming to have a cure for COVID-19 is false. So let your friends know about that too. I did do a video for a ceremony for the Allen Park High School. I'm in the process of doing something else on the recommendation of a fellow council person, which is what I needed was more work, but it was a great idea and I thank you. I congratulate all the graduating seniors throughout Allen Park, regardless of what school they're graduating from. This is going to be a year you'll always remember, and hopefully you will gain something from it. If nothing more than the knowledge that you can virtually get through anything if you have to. And with that, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Hey, Mayor, with all due
Yes.
respect, can I have, I forgot to say one thing. I did. Sunday is Flag Day, right? Make sure you put your flag, if you got a United States American flag, put it out there and be proud of the USA. And another thing is my wife's birthday is Flag Day.
Really?
Yeah, so happy birthday, Maria.
Hey, that puts you at the
That's it.
that puts you at the bottom of the order next week, Tony. Just
Oh,
so
you can
know.
come by. Hey, anybody can come by the house, 6 foot away. We'll take care of business. I'll give you a glass of Coca-Cola.
All right.
All righty. Now can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Support Lloyd.
Support Lloyd. Take the roll call.
All right, Mayor, I have a motion by Pro Tem Lally, supported by Councilman Lloyd, to adjourn the meeting. Shall we adjourn this regular meeting? Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally,
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
Mayor McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
Councilman Syke,
Yes.
Councilman Valeris.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The meeting is adjourned at 7:15 p.m. Everybody have a safe and good night. God bless you and good night.
Thank you.